A very good afternoon to all my dear students. In the last few classes, we have discussed about the working principle of electrodischarge machining. And in the last class, I have discussed about the mechanism of material removal, where step by step procedure I have explained. And then few more topics like process and voltage versus current graph, what is overflow, what is lagging, few parameters like T on, T off, and then open circuit voltage and the sparking voltage or working voltage. Those details I have shared in last class. Also, I have told what are different process parameters. Like we have got a VO, that means open circuit voltage, then working voltage, then IO, then T on, T off, then what is delta? That means inter-electrode gap or spark gap. Then we have discussed about straight polarity, reverse polarity. Then we have already discussed about dielectrics, property of dielectrics, and what is the function of dielectric constant. And we have also discussed about the influence of flushing rate in brief. So that process parameters, once again, one by one, we will go through, and what will be the effect of each process parameters. So those things also we will be discussing in the next few classes. But before moving there, we have to know a few more things about ADM. Okay, so what are those? In today's class, we will study about the characteristics. We will discuss about the characteristics. So I will expect that each of you will note down the points which I am discussing. So number one characteristic is what we have already studied, that the process or this EDM process can be used to machine only materials or anything which is electrically conductive in nature. Okay, which are electrically conductive in. Okay, so the material must be electrically conductive. Okay, so second point is the material removal, that will depend on mainly the thermal property of the work material. What I said, thermal property of work material or workpiece. Okay, so on thermal property of workpiece, MRR, that means material removal rate, will be dependent. Okay, clear? So, but it will not depend on its physical property. For example, like strength, hardness, yield point, etc. So it will depend on what? Thermal property. Which thermal properties? We may have something like, so it is something like specific heat, which is denoted by Cp. Then another thermal property may be the thermal conductivity of the material, which is denoted by K. Then another one we can go for like a density of the workpiece material, which is denoted by sigma. Another one thermal property will be melting temperature, which can be represented by theta m. Okay, so the material removal rate MRR will depend on these things rather than hardness, stiffness, or other physical properties of material. Okay, then number three. Number three is in electro discharge machining process or electric discharge machining process, we are going to have a physical tool. We are going to have a physical tool, and the geometry of the tool will be the positive impression of the hole or the geometric feature. Okay, to be machined. Okay, so in this process, what we understood that we are going to use one physical tool, and already I have explained that if you want to generate some sort of shape, say you want to generate this kind of pentagonal shape. Okay, so the tool also or tool tip also must have this pentagonal shape. So same thing will go down, and electrons from all the areas of it will come down or will be attracted towards workpiece, and then material will be removed. So for that, this geometry or tool geometry, it matters. So anyhow, we are using some physical tool. Okay, now I have a question for you. The question is, already we have discussed few machining processes. Those are, we have studied about USM, we have used AJM, we have used A, or we have studied AWJM, we have studied ECM and ECG. Okay. Now, in which of these processes we have used physical tools, and in which of these cases we have not used any physical tool? I hope you do remember. So, from this USM, we have used a shape tool, and ECM also we have used a tool. But AJM, AWJM, we have sent some abrasives or jet of abrasive or water abrasive jet through a nozzle. We have not used any physical tool in these two cases. Okay, so USM also we have used physical tool, ECM also we have used physical tool, as well as in EDM also. Now, EDM also we have used one physical tool. Okay, right. And it is die sinking EDM. I am discussing everything from starting onwards about die sinking EDM. Now, fourth one. Fourth one is what? The workpiece was electrically conductive. Okay, already we have studied. Tool also must be electrically conductive. Tool also must be electrically conductive. And the tool wear, okay, tool wear, that means TWR. If we are going to find out what previously we found out MRR, okay, and we sometimes may have to find out TWR, tool wear rate. So that also will be dependent on the thermal properties of the tool material. It is not dependent on the physical properties of the tool material. Is it clear? That means the strength of the tool, okay, as well as young modulus, hardness, yield point, etc. It will not be dependent on it. So this is the fourth point. Is it clear to all? Okay. Now moving ahead to the fifth one, or the fifth characteristics of EDM. So here what happens, there will be generation of spark, not arc, and due to which we will have localized temperature rise. Okay, localized temperature rise, and that will be for a very small time, or very small time duration. And because of that reason, the heat to diffuse the workpiece will not be sufficient enough, and thus almost there will not be any increase in bulk temperature, okay, during the machining process. There definitely has to be temperature rise, otherwise it cannot melt the workpiece. But once again I said that as the spark will retain for very short duration of time, that's why it will not diffuse the workpiece, as bulk temperature will not raise. Okay, so though the local temperature rise is rather high, still due to very small pulse on time, that means T on, very small pulse on time, that is T on, there is not enough time for the heat to diffuse the workpiece. Okay, and thus almost no increase in bulk temperature is observed. Okay, is observed. So this is something which we can see, and because of that reason, you see, if we have a material, okay, something like this. So this is a metallic billet, and we are going to generate some this sort of this kind of shape. Okay, and it is somewhat deep. So we have removed this much material from here. So what will happen, you know, the heat affected zone, or HAZ, will be very limited. Only this area, only this area. It will be like very thin layer we will get. And that thin layer will be somewhere, or HAZ will be limited to only 2 to 4 microns. Only 2 to 4 microns. Okay, of the spark crater. Right? And why it happens, as I said, we have very less pulse on time, that means T on is very less. Because of that, the high temperature generation will be only limited for short duration of time, and because of that, the HZ or heat affected zone will be limited to 2 to 4 microns. Okay, but in which case we can find more heat affected zone? If you are going for any sort of MMAW, that means manual metal arc welding. If you are going for oxyacetylene gas cutting, so in that case, there will be change in microstructure, as there will be a big heat affected zone in the work surface. Okay, so this is something which you need to remember. Now, next, sixth point, sixth characteristic. So, what happens here? We do rapid heating and cooling work. Okay, and this we will have localized high temperature, and because of that reason, there will be some surface hardening. I hope you people have studied this MMS subject. Okay, that means metallurgy and material science subject you have studied, and in that subject you might have gone through heat treatment. You might have studied about heat treatment. In heat treatment, there was something called normalizing, there was something called annealing, quenching, as well as many case hardening methods like carburizing, nitriding, etc. Now, in those cases, we have done some heating and cooling operation. For example, if you go for quenching operation, so what we did in quenching, we have increased the temperature of the material or the metal, and after bringing it to some crystalline temperature or that state, we have done rapid cooling by keeping that hot metal or hot workpiece into either oil, or we have quenched into water. Okay, so many other mediums also we may have for rapid cooling. So here also, what happens? The spark will be generated, and that will lead in temperature generation, high heat generation or high temperature generation for a localized surface, and immediately as we are flushing the dielectric, because of that reason, that heat will be taken away. Okay, and in that time, pulse off time, that means we are not going to supply any pulse to the through the circuit, right? So that is something which we need to remember. Okay, so which will be desired in some of the applications, but in most of the applications we do not desire that some metallurgical change will occur into the workpiece, but in many applications this is desired. So rapid heating and cooling and localized high temperature leads to surface hardening, which may be desired in some applications. Okay, this will also alter local metallurgical properties. Okay, so quite often this is desired, but not all the time. Okay, so these are the 6 characteristics which we can find of EDM or electro discharge machine. Okay, Now next we will discuss about some of the flaws or the problems which occur during this EDM process. Okay, so number one, or we are going to discuss more about taper cut and overcut. Taper cut and overcut. Now, what happens? This taper cut or overcut, that will affect the quality of machine product or quality of the output. Okay, how? Say you have taken the tool which is rectangular in shape. Okay, and initially you have taken one workpiece like this, and once materials are being removed from this zone, what will happen? The tool feed mechanism will feed the tool downwards, and it will be inserted to the workpiece. So at an instant of time, let us assume that this workpiece is here and tool has gone down. Okay, tool has gone down. Now, in general, what is our desire? That if the diameter of the tool is d, small d, then the hole which you are going to drill, or you are going to machine the surface with some texture, so that dimension and this dimension must be equal, but it will not happen. Okay, instead of that you will find some sort of tapered surface. Instead of that you will find some sort of tapered surface on, or tapered contour you will find. Okay, why it happens, how to minimize it? Okay, because anyhow that is not desired to us, right? So as you can find some sort of taper or taper form, okay, which got generated due to machining, this is known as taper cut. And here if you find that this is our diameter, okay, if you are choosing this one as the diameter of the machined hole, this will be definitely equal to d plus delta. Okay, d plus delta. So d is, small d is the diameter of the tool, and delta is denoted as overcut. Okay, so that is the excess material or excess diameter which is cut. Now this is about overcut. Anyhow, I'll tell you how to minimize it. Okay, now another one problem is this taper cut. Why it happens? Because electron from the tool will not be directed only towards this direction. Only it will not be directed like this. Some electron, after machining or after making the hole, this is positive, this is positive, this side also positive, this side also positive, here also. And here we have got negative terminals. Okay, everywhere. Here negative, everywhere negative. Okay. So initially during the cut, okay, when the tool will lie exactly here, the positive ions present in the or holes present in the workpiece will attract the electrons, and that time it will come in a straight way or straight direction. But once it got inserted, now this side here, this positive or holes will attract electrons in this direction. Here also it will be attracted. It will attract electrons in this direction also. as the electrons will be attracted towards all these directions, that's why from this zone also there will be some removal of material. Okay, and spark will be generated, and here also we will find some material removal. Because of that, we will experience some taper cut. Okay, so this is definitely not desired property. Because of that, we have to make a few things. Number one, we need to design the tool properly. We need to design the tool properly. Say if you and all these things you will find out through experiments. Say you are using some tool material. Say you have taken copper or graphite, and for example some inconel or nickel based alloy you are machining. Okay, so in that case it will not be same. This diametral overcut or this taper generation, this will not be same all the time. It will be different. Okay, so you need to know for which diameter, how much diameter, how much overcut you can expect. So depending on that, you can resize the tool, or you can take a tool having a lesser diameter than the desired hole. Okay, so we need to remember it. It is not only that, we need to choose the correct tool. We need to choose the correct tool. Okay, so in order to choose the correct tool, you need to study about tool material. We need to study about tool material. Okay, so what will be the properties of a tool? The number one property is it should resist tool wear. Okay, that means tool wear should be less. Otherwise, if the tool is getting decayed, then there is no use. Definitely, there will be some tool wear. We cannot help it, but it has to be as less as possible. Property number two is the localized heat rise has to be less. Okay, localized rise or temperature rise has to be less. Okay, clear? Why? Because if the temperature is or heat is getting affected in a particular area, what will happen? It will melt the tool material, which will lead to wear and tear. Okay, clear? So we have to avoid this localized temperature rise. Okay, clear? And sometimes what happens? Say you have the tool material something like this, or tool shape is something like this. Okay, bottom of the tool is somewhat like this. But what happens due to localized heat generation? Uh, just let me draw properly. Due to localized heat generation, what happens? This zone here, okay, if it is not having good thermal property, so this portion will be heated much. Okay, and because of that, these portions will be weared out. So finally, it will become maybe a circular kind of tool. Okay, but we want a square or rectangular shape to be generated on the workpiece. Then what will happen? This square or what is that? This round shape will be generated on the workpiece. So this is the problem. Now, how we can avoid this localized temperature rise? Number one, we can do by tailoring or properly choosing the material. Tool material, that is possible. Or even you can do one thing, uh, even though the temperature is rising or raising, there should be less smelting. Okay, there should be less melting. So this has to be chosen. That's why the material you have to choose properly. Okay, but keeping all these aspects into consideration, we need to have another one property of the tool, that is it should be easily workable, as intricate shaped geometry features are to be machined in EDM. Okay, so the tool should be easily workable, as intricate shape geometry features are to be machined. Okay, so intricate shaped geometry are to be machined. Say you want something like this. Okay, or you want some shape something like this. Okay, or you want something to be written on the surface of it. Clear? So that's why the tool should be easily workable. Okay, next, fourth one. Fourth one, the tool has to be high electrical conductive. Highly electrically conductive. Why? That if it is highly electrically conductive, we will have more free electrons. More free electrons. Due to the presence of more free electrons, what will happen? We can easily perform cold emission. What is cold emission? In last class already I have discussed. Okay, clear? This should be high conductor of electricity. Similarly, we should have less bulk heating property. Okay, less bulk heating. Why less bulk heating I am discussing? Why I am saying this? Because if we the material or tool material catches more heat, or it gets heated suddenly, then its resistance will increase. If resistance increases, already in last class I said that I is equal to V by R. So if R is increasing, what will happen? I will decrease. So electrons will not be able to flow properly. Okay. So that's why we should make it means it should not hit in a bulk. And in order to do that, we need high thermal conductivity. We need to have high thermal conductivity. Why? Because it can carry away heat easily. Okay. Seventh one. What is seventh one? The material must be highly dense. High density. Why high density? Because for same heat load and same tool wear, uh, what will happen? The weight of the material which got removed will be less. Okay, and because of that, the volume of the material which will be removed will be less. Okay, so what is happened? For same heat load and same tool wear by weight, there will be less volumetric removal or tool wear, and because of that reason we will have less dimensional inaccuracy. Okay, so the density of the material should be high. Then 8, we are discussing about many things: heat. The tool must not melt once it is heated. Yes or no? Because of that reason, it should have a high melting point. High melting point. It is required. Okay. And the ninth one, or the last one, is the tool must be easily manufactured, or it should be manufactured easily, or it should be easy to manufacture. Why? You want to generate some intricate shape, and that shape you are unable to produce on the tool, then how can you generate that into the work surface? You cannot. So the tool must have good machinability index, so that you can make, or you can give the desired profile, okay, to the tool. Clear? Now that is another one. And 10th one is it must be cheap. Okay, the tool must be cheap. Now next, I have discussed about many properties of tool. Then what are the tool materials? I will discuss about some regularly used tool materials. With this, we'll conclude today's class. So tool materials. Number one, we use graphite, which is very much used. Okay, in many applications we use graphite tools. Okay, and then we use electrolyte oxygen free copper. Okay, electrolyte oxygen free copper. But this is not that easy, okay, to get, because it is somewhat costly. Okay, but it is having high density, it is having high thermal conductivity or K value. Okay, and it is very good conductor of electricity. But the problem of with this is it is very costly. Okay, then another one material we use, that is tellurium copper. Okay, tellurium copper, where we have 99% copper and somewhere around 0.5% tellurium. Okay, then we can use brass. We sometimes use copper tungsten as tool material. Okay, so these are some tool materials which we generally use. Okay, as in EDM process. Okay, but all these what I have said, it is all these are part of die sinking EDM. Okay, so in the next class I will be discussing about material removal process. Okay, or calculation of MRR, and then one by one we'll go for those parameters which will affect on the output responses. Okay.